What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Stack Sats Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. Round of applause from the live studio audience for Garrett. What up, Garrett? Good to see you in here. Say hello in the chat if you want to get a shout out, and a round of applause from the live studio audience. Do me a favor, hit that like button on the way in. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit subscribe. After a minute, you'll be able to chat in the chat and ask me questions. I'll answer your questions directly. We talk about Bitcoin here, Bitcoin only. We stack, we take custody, and we become wealthier. And our purchasing power increases, okay? We talk about Bitcoin here. We don't talk about poop coins. We don't talk about trading Bitcoin. We buy it, we stack it, and that's it. Repeat. Buy, take custody, and repeat. Okay? We don't talk about trading it. We don't talk about sticking your Bitcoin somewhere to earn you a yield. It's a scam. Okay? All that stuff is scams. Okay? We don't send our Bitcoin somewhere to get twice as much back. That's also a scam. Oh my gosh. Dollar cost average into BTC. That's right. We save in Bitcoin here. That's the premise of the show. We save in Bitcoin Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. Welcome to the show. Today, the topic is make Bitcoin your superpower. Make Bitcoin your superpower. What does that mean? Well, imagine you had a superpower where you were able to resist and be immune to inflation, the thing that the government uses to keep you poor and keep you working for the rest of your life, right? What if you had the power to resist that? You do. It's at your fingertips. All you gotta do is save in Bitcoin, and that purchasing power will increase over time, and it'll make it to where you have to work less and less for that, less and less for the same lifestyle you're currently holding, right? For the same quality of life you're used to. Okay. Bitcoin had a good move up. We were in the 70s, even though we've been in the 68, 69. It moved up all the way to 71,000, which is good. But like I said, it doesn't matter what Bitcoin is doing as far as price goes. The idea here is that you continue to stack Satoshis, to continue to stack fractions of a Bitcoin. And as long as you keep doing that, that value that's in Bitcoin will continue to appreciate over time. The longer you hold it, the better off you'll be, until eventually you'll have to come to the conclusion. You'll get to the point where you have enough Bitcoin stashed in your self-custody that it's an option now to stop doing what you're currently doing for work, or work a little less, or work a different job that you've always wanted to work at, but you didn't think it would make enough money to support you, right? You could really start to pursue your passions, start to pursue your the things you're curious about, the things that you feel passionate about, without the need for considering your financial situation, because you'll already be set. You'll basically be able to retire and be able to pursue the things that you want to pursue, that will in essence make the world a better place, because happy people tend not to do weird things that are destructive both to themselves and to society. So that's why when you hear people say Bitcoin fixes everything, it kind of does. Okay. Anyway, that is how you can get your Bitcoin superpower. It's easy peasy. All you gotta do is buy Bitcoin, take it into custody, and you're on your way to building up your, your superpower. All right, let's jump into the first segment of the show that we like to call the Sat Strength. Sat Strength. Oh, I forgot to look up the page. Sorry guys, I'm finding my page. I found it. There it is. There we go. Oh, what's going on? There it is. Today, the price of Bitcoin is $70,420.24. Woohoo! We're in the 70s, baby. We're in the 70s. And since we're in the 70s, today you can only buy 1,420 Satoshis for a single dollar. That's kind of sucks. When we started the show, we were able to buy 4,000 Satoshis per dollar. Now it's just 1,420 Satoshis for a single dollar. What is a Satoshi? A sat, a Satoshi is a fraction of a Bitcoin. Just like a dollar is made up of 100 cents, a Bitcoin is made up of 100 million Satoshis. So the smallest fraction of a Bitcoin. It's 0.000000001 Bitcoin. Okay? And it's important to highlight that because you might look at this price tag and say $70,000. I'll never be able to afford a Bitcoin. I'll never be able to save up for a Bitcoin. Now, well, instead of thinking about having to save up to buy Bitcoin, you should be thinking about saving in Bitcoin, because that's exactly what you need to do. You don't save up to buy Bitcoin, you save in Bitcoin to shield yourself from inflation. And if you're walking down the street today, minding your own business, you look down, you see a penny, you pick it up, and all the day that penny could change into 14.2 Satoshis for a single penny. Imagine you buy 1 cent of Satoshis today for 14 Satoshis. And when Bitcoin hits $1 million, each cent will be worth 1 Satoshi. Isn't that crazy? Right? Moscow time, 1420. 420. That's funny. Oh my gosh. Round of applause from the live studio audience for BTC Backpacker and Carlos Jaramillo. What up, Carlos? Also, Rookie80. What's up, dude? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for coming back and hanging out with us today. All right, that is the sat strength. There it is. It's pretty powerful. Fine Times in the house. Welcome to the stream. Here's a fine round of applause from the live studio audience for Fine Times. Thanks for tuning in. Gentlemen, it is crazy. All the different, like all the politics going on, all of the noise, all of the weirdness. Today, I continued my I added a goal for myself to walk, to do at least 2 walks a week where I walk or run for at least 2 miles. Okay, I started doing it when my cast came off, and I'm stacking miles, guys. I'm stacking miles a little bit at a time. Today I didn't want to run. Today I forced myself to walk the whole time. So I was kind of like speed walking. I was speed walking with my fanny pack, like an old dad, with my fanny pack, with my Bose speaker in there, blasting. What was I blasting? Let me see what chapter I'm on. Blasting the Fiat Standard. I don't know if it's chapter 8, but it's section 8. It talks about Fiat foods. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Talking about like seed oils and soybeans and how high fructose corn syrup, and how it's cheaper to use those kind of chemicals and stuff than real food, and how the whole mechanism is set up to basically get you to eat that trash so that you can get like sick and get diabetes and then have to like be taken care of the whole time, right? So like it creates like creating customers for the pharmaceutical companies, you know? Anyway, I'm like deep down that rabbit hole right now on that chapter. It's pretty dang enlightening, right? I'm doing the keto diet still. I'm sorry, I'm jumping across a bunch of different topics. This is just how I can relate to these things right now in my life. I'm doing the keto diet, and with it, like I'm basically not eating any carbs, no sugars. I'm just straight up meat, fat, and I do like spinach or like lettuce, right, or like broccoli, or just like the greens, I guess, right, and water, coffee sometimes, right, but I feel great. I feel fantastic. Like my mind is clear. I feel like sometimes when I'm talking, like right now, I can feel in my head, I can see myself thinking about the next thing I'm gonna say, and I feel like I'm on a different level as far as being able to articulate my thoughts, and it's just really, it feels great. My body feels I don't even know if you could say this, less swollen, less achy, right? My body feels less achy, right? And a lot of these things, a lot of these fiat foods that we consume, whether I mean, most of us do this subconsciously. We're not trying to make ourselves sick, but the stuff tastes good. What can you do? Sugar tastes awesome, right? That's how sugar is freaking great. Tastes delicious, but it's poison, right? Um, but a lot of the seed oils, all that stuff makes you kind of it's inflammatory, right? It's like that's why they can tell you, oh, you should eat like omega 6 fatty acids, like the stuff in fish. That's anti-inflammatory. All the other oils are inflammatory, right? So your body does feel that. You feel like your joints and your muscles or your arthritis, all that stuff is like it's inflammatory. It's inflammation. It's inflammation of the different parts of your body. Anything that ends in itis is inflammation of something, right? So and then a lot of the ailments that we have as a society like stem from just the trash food that we eat, right? Um, anyway, I'm just like it's just like really vivid in my mind right now because I'm on that chapter of the Fiat Standard, and we're just talking about Fiat foods. It's crazy. Like I'm gonna go back and re-listen to that whole chapter just because it's like pretty dang intriguing, and then from that, maybe branch off into like a different rabbit hole of like maybe redoing my pantry. Considering just like I don't know, it's just a crazy concept. Well, not crazy. It's a good thing to start looking into, right? And then when I posted that picture of like what's it called? It was Nescafe instant coffee, and then Carlos called me out on it. He's like, "Hey, that's like Fiat coffee. You should get some other kind of coffee, right?" So I did order that coffee, Carlos, the Colombian Buendia, and that's on the way. So I'll be drinking that stuff instead, right? But it was just very very time appropriate for me to hit this chapter on this book on my walk, and it having to like it just kind of fits into what I've been doing with my diet already, and it kind of helps explain why I feel better, right? I'm down from 187 pounds. I weighed myself this morning. I'm down to 164. Right, I'm down to 164, and now my thought process is okay. Well, I told myself that I would reward myself for getting down below 165 by going to the Corvette Diner and having myself an Elvis shake, which is like just sugar, sugar, and all the stuff you shouldn't be eating, right? It's not even dairy. It's probably some like powdered something or other, right? And so now I'm thinking to myself, shoot, is it worth sabotaging my diet for the one day of reward that's going to take me out of ketosis, and I won't be able to get back into keto for another 3 days, right? So I'll have that stop of weight loss, right? Or should I just keep going and get down to like 160, like my target-ish goal, and then maybe once I get to 160, reward myself then. Not do it at 165. Just go for the glory, go for the 160, and then so basically I shift the goal for myself. I shift my Elvis milkshake to the 160 mark instead of the 165 mark, since I already hit 164 today or last night. It's crazy. I know, guys. I know it doesn't have anything to do with Bitcoin, but it is part of my mental state, part of my I don't know what you call it. Just people say Bitcoin changes you, and I don't want the immediate gratification of that shake if it means sacrificing my health and not getting to my goal of 160 now, right? And I am more capable of and more able to make that sacrifice and stick to my guns about just losing weight, because I know there's a reward at the end, which is just me hitting my weight, right? Just like I stack Bitcoin knowing that it's going to go up or it's going to go down, I know that every single Satoshi that I stack is like going to help me in the long run in the future, right? Well, every carb I don't eat and every day I extend the every day I don't have an Elvis milkshake from Corvette Diner. Yeah, it sounds delicious, but every day I don't have it, it's letting my body do its thing in its ketosis state and continue to eat away the fat in my body, right? It's crazy. So that's my dilemma, and it's a good dilemma to have. It's a good situation to be in, right? All right, I hit my weight loss goal. Do I shift it, or do I reward myself by by doing the thing that got me in trouble in the first place? Right now, feel like I have more clarity of mind to make a better decision. It's like, you know what? I don't need it. It sounds amazing, but I would do it just because it tastes good, but I don't feel like the necessity for it. I don't feel like the craving for it. I would just be like, oh, that sounds cool. It sounds good. But then I could get out of my mind and I can do other stuff, right? Other thing was last night I finally was able to go to jiu-jitsu class after 4 weeks in a cast and 1 week out of the cast. I went to jiu-jitsu class last night and it was awesome. It felt so good to just pack up my bag with my gear, get my water bottle ready, throw my bag in the car, get to jiu-jitsu class, and damn, dude, it felt so good. Say hello to my friends there on the mats, getting warmed up. We did the lesson part. We did the drills. And then after the drills, I didn't roll because I didn't want to get injured with my hand. It's still, I technically shouldn't be on the mat for another week. I think tomorrow will be officially the 6 weeks since the break. So I shouldn't even be on the mat until Friday. But I'm going to go back on Wednesday and I'll be back on Friday. Anyway, the whole reason I'm sharing this story was after halfway through the class, about a little bit more than halfway through the class, when you're done with the instructional portion of the class, they usually let you roll with your training partners. That's when you try to choke each other and kill each other, right? And I didn't do that part, but I was on the mat anyway, and why not? I must have done 100 sit-ups and different just body weight exercises that didn't require my hand. And man, it feels good. It felt good to get off the mat and be tired and be sweaty and feel fatigued, and for my muscles to be activated. Right now, my abs are not burning, but I can feel it. I'm conscious of my abs because I'm a little sore, right? And when it twists and stuff, it feels good. It feels good to be sore, to know that you did a little bit of work, right? And to be back, it feels really good to be back on the trail of that blue belt. I feel like I'm so close. I'm so close to that blue belt. I'm just super stoked to be back on track and continue to stack jiu-jitsu classes. And of course, stacking sats here with you guys. So that's an update on my status on what I've been doing. I know maybe it was too TMI, too much information, but the idea of why I share that kind of information with you guys is maybe you're on the fence about trying something. Maybe you're on the fence about starting a new hobby or a new thing or a new diet, right? And to just go for it, right? Just go for it. The worst that can happen is you continue to be fat, right? The worst that can happen is that you suck at that new hobby. And it's okay if you want to continue with it, you'll get better, right? Or you say you want to lose weight, you start on a diet, you fail that diet, that doesn't work for you. That's okay. Now you know that diet doesn't work for you. Try a different one, right? Try a different one. Maybe you failed at that one too. Who cares? Try a different diet, right? Eventually, you're gonna stumble across a diet that works for you, and you're gonna be a better person for it, right? You're gonna feel more healthy. You'll be able to live longer, and you'll be able to enjoy your satoshis longer, right? All right. So that said, extra super positive day today. I'm feeling the vibe, and let's get into why we stack. Why we stack. We stack because after we give up all the fiat foods and the fiat things that make us poor, unhealthy, and broke, even though poor and broke is about the same thing, poor, unhealthy, and dependent on a pharmaceutical system that's set up to keep you sick, not heal you, right? Round of applause from the live studio audience for Leonard. What up, Leonard? Thanks for tuning in. Oh, what up, Paul? Thanks for tuning in too, Paul. Welcome to the stream. And Andrew Williams in the house. But yeah, we stack because it teaches us to become consistent at something, okay? Especially if you've never saved in your life. That wasn't a thing that you've done in the past because you feel that when you save in the dollar, you're losing value and it feels like you're not getting ahead anyway. So you just give up and stop saving. Well, when you stack satoshis, when you save in Bitcoin, you start to see in real time your purchasing power increase. And what happens when your purchasing power increase? What's happening there is you're in essence becoming more wealthy, right? And as you become more wealthy, you start to remember that everything that you do in life has a trade-off, okay? And yes, you can always compare things to sats instead of whatever you're gonna buy, right? But you start to see that slow and steady doing a little bit of the right thing over time adds up, okay? And then you might think to yourself, well, what if I stack other things in my life that are positive? What if I stack healthy, positively influential friends in my life? What if I stack walks a week? What if I stack eating more steak? You know, what if I stack reading a book, reading 20 minutes a day, reading 10 minutes a day? What if I stack 30-minute walks a day, 30-minute walks every other day, right? And it's not gonna hurt me, or is that gonna make me better, right? It's gonna probably make you better, right? And what is that gonna do for my longevity, for my lifespan? Is that gonna make me live a shorter life or a longer life? Is that gonna make my life more stressful or less stressful, right? And then you start living a life of purpose and with intent, right? Where you start to understand that just like you can choose to stack Bitcoin instead of choosing to blow your money on a coffee, you can choose to stack other things in your life that affect your life in a positive way. And as you do that, you start to do it slow and steady, be consistent, and next thing you know, you look back a year later, even a month later, you're down the weight you wanted to be, you're more wealthy than you thought you would ever be, and your life is overall better, right? Why wouldn't you do that, right? Anyway, that's how we stack, because it teaches us the importance of incremental, gradual, positive growth. All right. That's all I got for you for the What We Stack segment, boys. Let's go. I've been stacking my music collection on my old iPod. Oh my God, that's cool. An iPod 5.5 generation. That's wild. That's wild. I found my old what did I find? My old, let me turn on some background music while I talk about this real quick. I found my old you know how you have like on your car there's a visor? And back in the day, if you wanted to listen to songs, you had to burn them on a CD or have the actual album. And I found the thing that used to go on my visor with like a bunch of CDs in it. So good. I found my visor of CDs. They got abandoned when Napster and was it Napster and what was the other one? There was like a song that was like a music downloading one. It was Napster and something else, right? Forget the other one was. I don't know if Napster came first or the other one came first, but yeah, as soon as that came out, man, it was game over for my little LimeWire. That's right. Gangster, right? Gangster. Imagine, guys, back in the day, if you're young, instead of going to like Spotify or YouTube or something like that to listen to a song, you actually had to wait for that song to play on the radio and hit record on your tape deck to have a copy of that song. We used to have these things called boom boxes that had 2 tape decks inside of them. And if somebody was playing a track you liked, you could ask them to dub it, and they'll let you borrow the tape, or they put your copy tape in their boombox. They'll play the song through, and then while it's playing through, it's recording on your deck, and that's how you swap music, right? Or you just got to go buy the album, right? Once the CDs came out, before CD burners were like affordable, you kind of SOL at that point. You had to buy the CD because they had a bunch of like anti-privacy stuff. You couldn't copy them, right? But making tapes off the radio is like OG right there. If you made tapes off the radio, hit me with the thumbs up in the chat. The type of thumbs up, type of tape deck. Is there even a tape deck? Is there even a tape? Type some music notes into the chat, because that's old school right there. That's so awesome. But anyway, and then Discman came out, and then the iPod came out and just killed everything. It was awesome. I made tapes off the TV. Let's go, dude. Oh my God, Leonard, that's gangster, dude. That is, I've never done that one, but that's a that's a good one. Just take the audio output from your TV and make the tape from the. So good. You know what used to drive me nuts though, and I couldn't stand this when the DJ introduces a song and he would talk into the song like through the intro and not stop talking until the freaking singer's about to sing. You know, it's like, oh, come on, dude, you're ruining my copy. Anyway, that's funny. That's so funny. All right, so that's hilarious, dude. Back in the day, there was 30 minutes. There was a 30-minute show that played music videos. Very cool. Wow. That's wild. That's wild. Now we can just download any song we want in the whole wide world, in the history of the world. Almost, right? Crazy. All right. Let's get into the next segment of the show that we like to call the Stack Recap. Because we don't only buy Bitcoin here. I'm sorry, we don't only talk about buying Bitcoin here. We actually buy it Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. Join us and watch us buy a little Bitcoin at a time. Okay, today the price of Bitcoin is $70,000 and $78,412. We have saved $6,591 into Bitcoin, and if we were to and bought 16.4 million satoshis, or 0.1649145 Bitcoin, less than 0.2 of a Bitcoin. Since we've saved in Bitcoin, the value of our satoshis that we have in possession has gone up 76%. That's amazing. That's awesome. So if we were to go back and try to buy the same amount of satoshis today with today's weaker dollars, we would have to pay 76% more. In other words, $11,612. It's pretty crazy. So when somebody tells you that inflation isn't real, you're looking at it. This is not made up data. You guys watch me buy this stuff every single day. Okay? That's true. That's true. Worldwide, not just USA. That's true. So what's important here is that no matter what country you're in, your satoshis are worldwide. And just because I'm denominating here in dollars, it doesn't mean you can't denominate it in pesos, in lira, in pounds, in euros, in Australian dollars, right? If you look at all those different charts, it doesn't matter. What matters is that government-controlled currency is devaluing and losing purchasing power against the dollar. Against Bitcoin. Okay, so it's gonna look differently depending on the currency you're looking at. But long story short, Bitcoin is harder to make. It's the hardest thing to make. So it beats out currencies that are easy to print, right? Because even though we say dollar, yen, peso, euro, what is all that stuff? All that stuff is just paper, okay? It's just paper that somebody believes is worth something in one country, and in another country they believe this other piece of paper is worth something, right? But all it is paper, okay? Paper that's worthless, okay? Because no matter what, if you're holding value in that paper, you can get debased and you get devalued, and that purchasing power of that paper is losing over time, making you poorer. When you take that value that paper represents, take it out of that paper and put it into Bitcoin, now your Bitcoin is appreciating against that paper and therefore making you richer with more purchasing power. Okay. Right now that the price of Bitcoin is at 70,000, this is just for about a year since the show has been running. But just in 2024, we started tracking it just for this year, and just for this year we're up about 30%. Okay. So same thing. We've saved $3,107, and that savings has turned into $4,056. Okay. In other words, it's gone up 30%. So that's super cool. Another thing we like to do here on the show when we're tracking this kind of stuff and we're doing the recap is my burrito index, right? I love burritos. I haven't had burrito in a while. Usually now I just have the inside of the burrito, no tortilla. And my burrito on October 3rd cost me $13.70. At the current price of Bitcoin then, it was going to cost me 49,603 Satoshis. The burrito price today, priced in Bitcoin, is only costing me now 19,432 Satoshis at the price of Bitcoin today. So it's 60% off. Okay. The burrito I was having in October, it's still worth $13.70 in dollar terms. Right? But since my value has been moved over to Bitcoin, now I can buy almost 3 burritos. No, about 2.5 burritos for the price of one burrito in October. Right? So that means that less of my working hours go towards that one burrito. Right? Less than half of the time I did before. And you could take the same concept and apply it to other things in your life, like your rent, your car payment, whatever payments you need to make. And you can see that if you were to continue to make your payments, of course, but if you were to take the rest of the money that you didn't need to spend right away and save it, now that money, just like I can buy 2 burritos now for the price of, 2.5 burritos for the price of one, you could probably make 2 house payments for the price of one if you had saved your value in Bitcoin and now your Bitcoin has gone up in value, right? So eventually it gets to the point where you're going to get a teetering point where you have so much Bitcoin and it's worth so much that your time becomes your time now. And you don't have to go and exchange it day to day for money to just live. And you'll have enough of a savings and it's going to keep going up in value that you would be able to decide what to do with your time, right? FIAT, Fake Issued Asset Trust. Fiat. Oh, that's good. I like that, Fine Times. Round of applause from my live studio audience for Fiat Times. I'm sorry if I'm not keeping up with chat, guys. I apologize. I'm going to mute chat real quick. I remember making tapes. Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good. Nice letter. Can't remember. You are. Worldwide. Yep. It's crazy, right? It's pretty wild. Okay, so today is a momentous occasion. I don't usually bring up the sats per goods chart. Let's see. There it is. The sats per good chart. I don't usually bring it up, except for today. For the first time in a while or a long time, or maybe the first time since I've noticed it, my milk has gone to 4-digit Satoshis count. So when I started buying it when I started tracking it in October, I was paying 25,509 Satoshis. Now, at 61.13% off, I'm paying 9,915 Satoshis. We're in the quadruple digits, not even 5 digits. Okay? So, I mean, that milk's pretty expensive. It's $6.99. It's expensive milk, don't get me wrong. But I'm buying, 2 gallons of milk for the price of one, right? It's pretty crazy. Almost. Yeah. About 2 gallons of milk for the price of one. Pretty intense, right? So slow and steady, guys. Keep stacking. And that is why we stack. And also that is a stack recap. All right. So today, since the price of Bitcoin is way above our average buy price, of course, we're gonna stack $20 for our normal dollar cost average of the day, which is the Bitcoin cost average. Round of applause from a live studio audience from McLovin. What up, McLovin? Good to see you in here, dude. Thanks for coming back. It's always good to see you in the chat. So today we're gonna do $20 for the normal stack of the day, and we also have our other stacking goal currently. The 100 stacks challenge. We are 14 days away from having this challenge completed. Once we stack today, we'll be down to 13 days. Look at that. We're up 5% on our 100 stacks Bitcoin savings challenge. Okay? We've saved $4,611 and it's currently worth $4,846. Okay? So we're up about 5% on that little savings we did. Okay? By the time we're done with this challenge, we would have saved $5,095 worth of Bitcoin at whatever price it's at. And the idea here is that it's better to save in Bitcoin than it is to save straight cash in envelopes like the 100 envelopes challenge tells you to. So we took the 100 envelopes challenge. We hijacked the technology. We hijacked it. We hijacked the technique, and we upgraded it with technology of the future with Bitcoin. And so now, instead of stuffing cash into envelopes, we're stuffing Satoshis into our self-custody wallets and watching that value increase over time, as opposed to watching that value depreciate in cash. Okay, so today you guys get to help me decide if we're gonna buy the $28 line or the $42 line. I'll put a poll up for that later. But first, let's get into our first buy of the evening, and that is the $20 purchase for the DCA of the show. I'm just gonna start calling it BCA, guys. Bitcoin cost average. Here we go. Now that we know the numbers, now it's only one thing left to do, and that is it's time to stack some sats. Like a stackopath coming out, stacking $20. There it is, queued up, ready to go. $20 worth of Bitcoin today for the BCA of the show. Buying Bitcoin here Monday through Friday to show the people that you can do it too. That it's easy. If you can't do $20, do $10. You can't do $10, do $10 every other day. Right? Figure out a way to stop wasting money on stuff you don't need. Put your laser eyes on and start looking at things. Compare them to the potential upside of holding the equivalent amount of Bitcoin. Right? Does it make sense to spend, I think we did the calculations the other day, to spend, was it $1,000 in coffee? Or does it make better sense to spend that $1,000 on Bitcoin and watch that value increase over time? Right? All right, so it's queued up. I have my notes. Let's do this. Drum roll, please. Buying $20 worth of Bitcoin for the Stack Sats Show daily purchase. Do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button on the way in. It helps with the algorithm, and maybe will get us pushed out to more stackers, more people that need to know and understand why Bitcoin and how to save in it, and how saving in it helps you build generational wealth outside the grasp of the system, of anybody that tries to take your property. Let's go. Make it happen, Swan. Make it happen. Oh my gosh. It's a long drum roll. My drummer's gonna retire. My drummer's gonna protest. Keep drum rolling. Keep drum rolling. Okay, we'll let it roll. And Stackopath's in the house. Oh my gosh, come on. All right. Well, we'll just let it do its thing. We'll let it do its thing, and we'll turn on the music for the stack. Chilling. Okay, well, that's trying to settle up. Mr. Android, what up, dude? Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the stream. Mr. Android. Drum roll, let's go. Let's start the poll for today's purchase, whether it's going to be for, let's see, $28 or $42. 28, 42. What should we purchase today? A $28 line or the $48 line or the 100 stack amount? 100 stacks amount. Starting the poll. It still says purchase being processed. Crazy. Sometimes it just locks up and it's gonna give you this little splash screen. Let me close that. It says pending. It's okay, it's going through. It's going through. All right, so let the people decide. Ooh, 50-50. Oh. You have 5 votes. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Let's go 28, says Carlos. Oh my gosh. 28. 42. 28 or 42. Let the people decide. 7 votes are in. 1 more vote. Are we going to get 8 votes today? Wow. Let's see if this thing is done here. Thinking about it. It's still pending. Oh, while that is pending, I'm going to do a little plug for my little store. Here is my little store. I call it the BitcoinersCloset.com. BitcoinersCloset.com. I made a little pin, a little Bitcoin pin. I made the hoodie, the Bitcoin hoodie with the giant B on the front. A Bitcoin patch. Another Bitcoin pin that says Bitcoin is hope, peace, and prosperity. A patch that says the same thing. A sticker that says the same thing. A Bitcoin keyboard repair kit, which are stickers you can use on your keyboard to fix your keyboard so you can have the number 4 key with the B instead of a $sign. It's basically a sticker pack with a bunch of different sticker sizes, so you can put these on whatever keyboard you see fit. You can cut them to make them fit the right shape and the right keyboard. So anyway, it's just a little fun, you know. Have your laptop up there with a little B logo instead of the dollar logo for the next to the 4. We have the Bitcoin hats in different colors. There's the B. You get them in black, black and white, navy, all navy, and navy and white. That's right. If you wanna wear a Bitcoin dress, I'm not gonna judge you. It basically has a repeating little Bitcoin B, a little white Bitcoin B on this dress and an orange dress. If you wanna orange peel people at the pool, there is the Bitcoiner swim trunks. Bitcoiner swim trunks all day. There it is. That's for when you go to the beach or you want to flex on somebody at the pool, you know? This is if you want to get the chicks, this is what you need right here. Okay? Chicks dig Bitcoin swim trunks. Just so you know. If you want to rage against the machine, but without any of the rage, how about we just stack against the machine? Okay, Stack Against the Machine shirts available in black and white. Anyway. All right, let's see if this thing clears so I can get back to stacking here. All right, looks like it. All right, there. Okay, it cleared. Now let's finish this poll so we can stack. All right, Leonard, have a good day, dude. Ending the poll now. Ending it and. All right. Today we're gonna stack $42. $42. The people have spoken. $42. Okay, I'm gonna queue it up here. There it is. It's queued up. It's ready to go. I'm gonna put on the song for this kind of buy. Chill vibe. We're buying $42 for the 100 stacks challenge to put us 13 days away from completing that challenge. It's pretty damn cool. All right, let me get this preview. Copy this preview. Put it in my notes. Perfect. Oh, it logged me off. Weird. I have to log back in. Give me a second, guys. That's it. Oh man, it's gonna make me go through that whole login process. That sucks. Okay, let's see how fast I can do it. Let's have a cool jam. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat. I'll look at them in a second after I'm done logging into my account. Maybe that's why it wasn't giving me the results earlier. Interesting. Okay. Get my retina scan ready. Okay, scan my retina. There we go. Okay, I'm in. Yeah, buying Bitcoin again. 40 was it? It was 42. Okay, $42 worth of Bitcoin. Again, I'm gonna queue it up. There it is. Okay, I'm gonna queue it up. Taking my screenshot. Got it. Oh my gosh. All right. We're buying it. We're buying. Here we go. $42 of Bitcoin for the 100 stacks challenge. Just like that. Let's see. Do the ladies like Bitcoin swim trunks? Sat number go up is all that matters. Stack harder. What a non-BTC book that make you want to stack more. Oh, what's a non-BTC book that makes you want to stack more? Oh my gosh. Let's see. There it is. It's done. We're able to stack an additional 588 Satoshis today thanks to no fees over at Swan. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. If you want to stack with Swan, they got no fees for your first $10,000 worth of buys or your next if you're an existing customer. I'll put the link in the chat. When money dies, oh, that's not a Bitcoin book. It's just about money. That's cool. What about the book called Confessions of an Economic Hitman? I started listening to that one. I have it downloaded, so it's the next one I'm going to listen to after I listen to the Fiat Standard. Is Confessions of an Economic Hitman. This lets you know how they're manipulating the money. You know, it's pretty wild, and how they're manipulating governments and everything. So that makes me want to stack. It's a non-Bitcoin book that makes me want to stack hard, right? Another book that I've heard about but I haven't listened to, because I don't really read, is that would probably fit that category, is The Creature from Jekyll Island. I'm kind of I don't want to listen to it because I'm afraid I'll be more depressed. but it's on my reading list on my Audible. Yeah, it's pretty wild. So those are ones I want to look at. When Money Dies. Oh, it's about Weimar. Okay, that sounds like a good one. That sounds like an appropriate one actually. That'll definitely make you want to stack. That'll definitely make you want to stack. You know what movie I recently watched for the first time that was pretty cool is The Big Short. I'll be damned if the same thing isn't happening now, except they're doing it in a more sneaky way. So like they're gonna make it. It's gonna be like It's gonna be worse than before. It's gonna be worse than The Big Short. Than I guess they call it the Great Financial Crisis, the GFC, the Great Financial Crisis of 2008, 2009, right? That was like the catalyst for the first quantitative easing, which was a catalyst for Bitcoin, right? So it's crazy how it's repeating. But I don't know, it's just crazy. So you read that stuff and you think to yourself, man, that sucks. It kind of makes you kind of sad. but at the same time, you have your stack to fall back on, right? So that's kind of it takes a little bit of that sting off, right? And it gives you something you can do to combat that. A good time to start a garden if you have the space. That's very true. Rookie 80. I've been when I broke my hand, I got into more gardening. We're doing we're messing with the aquaponics. It's called the Kratky method, and you don't need like pumps or irrigation or electricity to run these little vegetable gardens. That basically you fill up a bucket with water for the appropriate amount of water with nutrients for that plant, for that plant's lifespan. So if you can do tomatoes or like a bok choy or like a lettuce or like kale, and it tells you how much you need for it to grow to maturity. And when you first put the little seedling in there, the roots are barely touching the water, and as the roots soak up the water, they extend, and half the roots become air breathing and half the roots become nutrient inlets that are in the water. And you basically just set it and forget it, and it grows all the way through to maturity. The fruits come out, and you harvest it, and you repeat the process. So that's what we've been experimenting with me and the boys outside. So yeah, and then we're also talking about lightning chickens. I'm still waiting to hear back from my homeowners association. But part of me thinks I should just set it up and not even tell anybody. Like, I know both of my neighbors that would say anything, and I don't think they'll say something. But like the whole ask for forgiveness, not permission. Oh my gosh. I'm old school. Dirt and manure. Oh, there you go. Yeah, dirt and manure for sure. Yeah, I don't know what the implications are of using the chemicals and stuff in the water, right? It should be just the nutrients that the plant needs. But I'm sure there's probably something wrong with that too, with that process. So I haven't looked into it that much. I can't grasp the concept of any homeowners association that can tell you what to do in your property. Exactly, Carlos. That's part of the issue here, is that it's never really your property. If you have a homeowners association that can tell you what you can and can't do on your property, and you have the government telling you what you can and can't use your property for, is it your property? Right? It's not your property. It's just a lease. Okay. Even after you're done paying for the building and the land, it's still not your property. You still have to continue to pay taxes on it and continue to pay homeowners association fees on it, and whatever fees they decide to add on in the future because they want to unlock that value that you have in your home, right? Just do chickens. You can always take it down later, right, Paul? I think you're right, dude. We're gonna rebel against this homeowners association. Be like, what? Be like, oh, it doesn't say in the homeowners association manual that we cannot have chickens, and the city allows it. So you want to update the homeowners association, amend the homeowners association agreement, and we'll talk about getting rid of my chickens then. All right. I know Carlos had mentioned Aqua Wallet last week, and I told him I would look into it, and I kind of vaguely looked into it, and I saw that it's doing liquid Bitcoin and some other kind of Bitcoin. And at first that kind of threw me off. I was like, I don't know. That sounds like a poop coin to me, but it's not. It's like another layer. It's kind of like another version of Lightning, right? It's just called Liquid. And so it's a self-custody wallet. So you do create your own seed phrase on it. And you can, it converts regular Bitcoin to liquid Bitcoin. So you're able to use it to transfer between people on the Liquid network, right? So that's kind of cool. It gives Bitcoin a little bit of usability, and it makes sense. But I barely set up a wallet the other day just to make sure that how it worked. But yeah, Carlos, it's a cool application. I saw what did I see? I saw, oh man, it's basing on his name. Sessions, BTC Sessions video on it. And then I also saw Bitcoin University's breakdown of the Aqua wallet. It's pretty good. So I downloaded it, I installed it, I made a little wallet, and haven't pushed any Bitcoin to it because I don't need to. But I mean, I don't know what I would pay in Liquid, so I guess I'd have to find a vendor that accepts Liquid payments. Is that how it works? Kind of like a vendor would accept Liquid payments as a vendor could accept Lightning payments. I imagine that's how it works. But it's cool. It's another way to make Bitcoin usable on a different layer, so you don't have to operate on the base chain, which is kind of cool. Alrighty, so that is what I got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Liquid is cheaper than on chain. Yep, exactly. It's kind of like Lightning is to Lightning, like the Lightning network, but it's a different technology, a different layer 2. Let's call it that. It's a different layer 2. So if the internet is a layer 1, web browsing is a layer. Actually, it's actually layer 3, a layer 4. And on the ISI layer model for the internet, it's a layer. It's an application layer, so it's like layer 5 or 6. But it's riding on the same technology, right? So it's riding on the internet pipeline. You can have a streaming service. You can have email. You can have file transfer protocol. You can have voice over IP. But all that stuff is operating on top of the base layer, which is IP, internet protocol, right? Or TCP/IP. So Lightning is a layer above Bitcoin, but it needs Bitcoin below it to make it work. Same thing with Liquid. So Liquid and Lightning are on the same level. In Aqua, you have BTC on chain as savings account. Yep, and Liquid labeled as spending account. Yeah, exactly. And I like that you're able to do that within the app without having to set up a Lightning node. That's killer, dude. Not having to set up a Lightning node to use it on the Liquid network. So it is easier to onboard somebody. Because if you try to onboard somebody with Lightning, they'll be like, oh, well, you got to get wallet of Satoshi that's not available anymore. And it's like not self-custody. It's like hosted, right? And then, yeah, so it does make it a lot easier. Maybe we can start messing with it a little bit more. Anyway, all right. Well, let's wrap up the show so Bitcoin can continue to pump this afternoon all the way up to 80,000. I'm calling it 80,000 incoming. What's going on over here? $80,000 Bitcoin incoming. Keep buying, keep stacking. And when it hits to 80,000, stack more. If it goes down to 65,000, 68,000, 69,000, stack more. Stick to your schedule. You already decided on your frequency and you already decided on your amount. Just stick to it. We're in this for the long term. We're not in it to trade it. We're in it to hold and to build generational wealth for our last names. Okay? So I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode of the StackSat Show. But until then, remember, if you ain't stacking, you're slacking. Later, guys.